Now, everybody knew that they needed to perform a military maneuver referred to as a breakout, which means you're in a circle, you're surrounded by troops. You pick one part of that circle of the people that are surrounding you, and you attack and you break through. It sounds like what it is. It's a breakout. Everybody knew that they needed to break out. They're like, hey, we're surrounded. We need fuel. We need water. We need food. We don't have any of that. We need to break out. And so everyone was kind of prepared to do that. Back to the book. Our army still deposed of about 130 combat-ready tanks and about the same number of armored scout cars and other armored vehicles. In other words, we still had a powerful motorized units available. Everywhere, people were waiting for the relieving signal for the breakout. With fluttering hearts, we followed the preparations that were taking place mainly in the western sector of the army. In anticipation of the expected operation, the order had been given to destroy all superfluous materiel. Everywhere, damaged guns, tanks, and trucks, useless communication and engineering equipment, huge amounts of clothing, files, and paper, even food were being consigned to flames. So they all think that they're going to break out. They're assuming, look, we're going to break out. This is the only solution right now. We're surrounded. We need to attack one area and get out of here. So they start going, okay, before we leave, we're going to burn this fuel. We're going to burn this food. We're not going to leave anything for the Russians. Back to the book. According to the decision by Army Command, the retreat from Stalingrad was to begin on 26 November. We did not entertain the slightest doubt that the Supreme Command must be convinced of its necessity. We counted firmly on its being carried out. I will never forget how stunned we all were. The agitation, yes, the petrifying horror that befell us, especially among the higher ranks of our staff, when on 24 November the message came in from Army that Hitler had forbidden the planned breakout and finally ordered the Stalingrad army to temporarily take up a position of all-around defense. So, Hitler says, no, you're not leaving. Oh, you're surrounded? By the way, they're surrounded by a force of about 1 million Russian soldiers. But it's more than that because they're surrounded by the country of Russia. Back to the book. The fatal radio message from the distant Führer headquarters had come like a stroke of lightning, forbidding the planned withdrawal of our northern front, the detachment of our forces from Stalingrad, and thereby the hope for the breakout. This decision by the Supreme Command was just as heavy a blow for the staff at the Army as it was for us. We were unable to satisfy ourselves as to why all the reports, admonitions, and requests for our responsible higher staffs who were best able to judge the events and all the dangers they entailed had not been successful. So this is something that Patton said. The commander on the ground is always right. Meaning if you're sitting in an ivory tower somewhere, there's a guy on the ground. He's right and you're wrong. He's on the ground. He knows what's happening. Now, could we come up with some exceptions to this? Absolutely. You have better intelligence of what's happening. You maybe know you maybe have overhead coverage, or you get air reports, or you have, in these days, you have satellites looking at things. So yeah, there's situations where you might know a little bit more. But the default thought process should be the guy on the ground has a better situational awareness than I do. I'm going to go with their call. And here's Hitler saying no. Now, General Paulus, who's the commander of all the German soldiers, General Paulus, back to the book, General Paulus addressed himself directly to Hitler with a very serious and responsible evaluation of the situation. In this momentous radio message, he had adamantly stressed that the fact that all his senior commanding generals shared the conviction that because it would be impossible to adequately supply the army in time, it would shortly be destroyed unless a concentration of all available forces were to succeed in decisively beating the enemy attacking from the west and the south. So it's not just one general that's saying this. There's 250 to 300,000 Germans there. There's a lot of senior military people. All of them are saying we need to leave. Hitler says no.
Why? Because Hitler's just that like, no, you guys don't leave because we're Germans. We fight till the death.
It's arrogance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely partially arrogance that he thinks, no, we'll hold out.
Yeah, we'll still just win because we're us.
Yeah, we'll just hold it out. And I think he's being stubborn. And yeah,
yes, the kind where like he made a call kind of thing.
He made a call,
and then they're like, "Hey, this call's no good. We're gonna do this." He's like, "No, I made the call.
Absolutely,
I made the call." Yeah,
that's exactly
yeah.
what's going on. Ego. I mean, obviously Hitler has probably one of the biggest egos of any human being ever, and here you see it.
Yeah, sure.
In full effect. Even though he had left no doubt that in his view the decision promising salvation lay in an immediate breakout, in the end he too, this is talking about Paulus, in the end he too submitted and obeyed. For him an order was an order in spite of everything. All that remained to us was to hope for a rescue operation from the outside.